Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the She.Must.Knit podcast. My name is Erin and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys had a great week. I had a really great week. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who wished me well last week, because if you were watching, you'll know that I was hit with a bug and I just was not feeling great. And to everybody who was wishing me to feel better, thank you so much. I do feel so much better this week. When I get sick, when I get like your regular cold, I do get asthma after, so that's the only thing I am dealing with now, is just kind of pushing through that. But otherwise, I feel great, and I had a pretty productive week. Now, I had to deal with a PA day on Monday. I was not expecting it. Who has a PA day on Monday? Anyway, Avery came home on Friday, and she was like, oh, there's no school Monday. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I've mentioned before, Mondays are my day. Like, Mondays are the day that I like to get stuff done. I really need a productive Monday to set the tone for the rest of the week. And PA days, that does not happen. So things got pushed around a little bit. Monday was not a productive day. Tuesday I had an appointment that was not a productive day. So I kind of had to play catch up during the rest of the week. But I still feel like I got a lot done. And you may have noticed that this episode is up just a teeny bit later than usual. I was so close. Normally I would record Fridays. Yesterday I was so close to finishing something that I was like, you know what, I need to push it just a little bit farther, one more day, so that I can finish it and not have to show you the same thing over and over and over again. So what do I have for you this week? I have a lot to talk about. I have a finished object, I have a new cast on, I have some sewing that I've been doing this week, like not bag sewing, but like crafty sewing. And then I wanted to do my monthly recap. So that's where I talk about what my goals were for September and which goals did I meet, and then what my goals for October will be. And then also I wanted to do a crafty bingo update. If you're familiar or not familiar, in my Bling string group on Ravelry, I've been having a year-long challenge. It's called Crafty Bingo, so everybody's made a card, put their crafty goals on there, and we're trying to meet them by the end of the year. So I have my update, because the last time I talked about how I was doing was back in June. So let's get started. That's a lot to cover. I'm going to have a sip of my tea like usual. Friend's mug is still here. We are full on in fall mode. This week has been very brisk. It's not cold yet, but sunny days mixed in with cloudy days, mixed in with rainy days, but the temperature has definitely dropped. I've been drinking my tea every day now. I have started wearing my hand knit socks. I've got a pair on today. I think I'm wearing one of my other previous DVD socks, monthly socks. Yeah, so the weather is ripe for knitting. So I'm gonna have a quick sip of my tea. I've got, it's another Seven Sisters tea. This one is their Dreamy Marzipan, because I do like marzipan. I do like that whole kind of, that flavoring, but I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It doesn't need anything added to it. It's sweet all on its own, but it just has a little taste to it that I'm not sure about. So not my favorite, but not bad. So that's what I'm drinking, and then let's get started with my projects. I'm going to start with the new cast on that you have not seen before. One of my goals for September was to recast on my Tweety socks. So I had started a pair of socks out of some Tweety yarn. Here, I'll show you the yarn. I had cast on a pair of socks with this yarn here, and this is from Dyed by Lindsay, and it's a BFL sock base. And I had cast these on as a Christmas, one of my brother's Christmas socks. So I have 3 brothers. Each brother gets a pair of socks for Christmas. So one of them had been to my house earlier this year and was looking through my yarn, picked this one out, and so I had cast on a pair of socks for him. However, the pattern and I just was not getting along. It wasn't mindless enough for me. I wasn't reaching for it. It wasn't getting done. And I need to get these socks done for Christmas. I want to get them done well before Christmas so that December I can have a easy breezy month. So I had decided that I was going to rip out that pair, and cast on a new pair for him with this yarn in just a vanilla sock. I just wanted to get it done, so just vanilla. So I did. And just to add a little interest, so I think I did show on a previous episode my September Desert Vista Dye Works socks I was working on in the Zom Dinos colorway. And the colors that were in that yarn really kind of coordinated nicely with this one. So I decided to do a fun little toe. So this is the start of my sock. So this is the Desert Vista Dye Works Zom Dinos, and then this is the Dyed by Lindsay in her Tweedy. It's a Tweedy base and it's a BFL base. So this should be very nice and durable for my brother, because my brothers wear their socks really, really hard. But I thought this would be great because it's got a fun little toe and my brothers would be fine with that. I plan on just doing a plain sock, German short row heel. I'm going to keep the heel in this yarn so that it's the more durable yarn. And then I don't know if I'm going to put this back up on the cuff, like maybe a little bit on the cuff, or just leave it on the toes. That I haven't decided yet. I'll decide that when I get to the top of the sock. But this was my new cast on. I recast on my Tweedy socks for my brother because I need to get these done for Christmas. I think that might be the last pair of Christmas socks that I have to do, because my September Desert Vista Dye Works socks were for one of my other brothers, and then their sis brother, and the other brother already has something done, and his girlfriend has something done, so, and Dennis has something done. So this might be my last pair of Christmas socks, which would be wonderful. So that's my new cast on. Next, I have my finished object. Are you ready to see what I finished? Ready? Ta-da! I finished my Atelier cardigan. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, I was working on this so hard this week because I just really wanted to get this done. And this is why I'm uploading just a little bit later, because I think I had all done and done when I counted from where my progress marker was the last time I showed this to you and where I cast off. It was 10 inches. So I added 10 inches to this cardigan this week, and I was so close last night because I debated recording last night, but I only had an inch to go. I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait because I wanted to finish this. I'm so excited that this is done. So I am going to pop up a picture. I had my little photographer I took her out into the yard earlier this morning, and she took some pictures for me. So I'm going to pop up a picture so that you can see what it looks like full length, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of details. There's not much to say because you have seen this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, but I will say I started this. This is one of my long-standing whips. So I had this unfinished. I looked on my Ravelry page and I started it back in October of 2015, and then it got put aside, and then I think over a year ago I had pulled it out and I was almost going to rip it out. I was like, I'm not going to wear this. And then I tried it on because it was the sleeves were done and it was kind of at this point here. I tried it on. I was like, no, you know, I think this actually might be a good garment for me. I'm going to keep going. And then this past March, I pulled it out again, started working on it, got a little bit more done on it, put aside, and then finally this month I was working on it again, and I was like, we are just going to finish this. It is the perfect weather for it now, and yeah, I just wanted to get it done, and I am so happy with it. I actually wore it out today, so I had to go out earlier this morning and get some fabric for the Christmas collection that I'm working on, and I decided to wear it. I wasn't going to, but I had it on since Avery was taking some pictures. I had it on, and I don't know, I just felt really warm and cozy, and I felt nice in it. I thought it looked good, and so I decided to wear it out when I went shopping. And yeah, so details. I will say that it's a pretty easy knit. It's mainly just a top down. There's a little bit of different shaping for this section here. It's not like your typical raglan, but I think it's very flattering. I don't like things that have a very defined sleeve cap because I have narrow shoulders and I have sloped shoulders. I find those lines never sit on me right. They're always in the wrong spot. So I like things that don't have a defined shoulder so that they can just kind of sit where they need to sit and they don't look weird. There was 2 options in the pattern. There was the easy version and then the I-cord version. And what the I-cord version was as you were knitting, you were doing kind of an I-cord edging. If you can see that there, and then I'll show you on the other side. You can kind of see right there, there's like this I-cord edging. I'm not sure if I were to make this again. I don't see myself making it again because I don't need another one, but I don't know if I would do the I-cord edging again. I thought it would be a really nice finished edge, and in a way it is, like especially up along the neckline here. It really is a nice finished edge, but for the front of the sweater, it kind of curls in, and for this style, because it's not a buttoned up cardigan, that doesn't bother me as much. It's just kind of an open, flowy cardigan, and you'll see from the picture, I think it looks fine, but I think I would probably look at another edging option. I don't remember what the easy version was, so depending on what kind of edging that one had, I would either do that or I would figure out something else, because I think I would prefer it if it just lay a little flatter. And I've come to learn with garments that I prefer to do as much as possible while knitting the garment to make it so that it doesn't need to be severely blocked in order to look good, because that's why I don't like doing a lot of garments that have like a lot of lace, just because as you wear it and that blocking kind of comes out, I still want it to be able to look nice even without that blocking. So I really like garter edges. I did a nice big garter edge on the hem there, because garter edges tend to lay flat. Same with the sleeves. The sleeves are garter here, so they don't need a lot of finessing to still lay nicely and look nice. I did steam block this last night, and I tried to see if steam blocking would help with the curling, and it didn't really. I'd probably have to soak it and press the edges out. And again, I could do that and it would probably look a little better, but then that's eventually going to kind of wear off and then I'd have to do it again, and I don't want to do that. So it looks fine the way it is. I'm happy with how it is, but if I were to do it again, I would probably look at a different edging just for the front part of the cardigan. The yarn I've mentioned was Richard DeVries in his merino worsted in the color Bejeweled. I did it on a size 5mm needle, and I used 15 balls. So it was about a little more than 1,500 yards, and I'm really happy with the length with it. Last time I showed it to you, I was saying that I was going to knit one more ball and then reevaluate and then possibly put the edging on, and I ended up having to do 2 more balls before the edging, just because I knew if it was I could deal with something being longer than I had intended, but I knew I wouldn't wear it if it was shorter than I intended. So I decided to, even though I was basically mentally done with this, I just wanted it done, I decided it would be better to stick it out, put that extra ball in, get the length I want, and then be happy with it. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks nice. You'll have to let me know from the picture what you think. You know, my history with garments is not fabulous. I don't tend to wear the things I make. We will see. I'm hoping I will wear this. I think it looks nice, and I like all the colors in it. I really want to get, I mentioned this last week, I really want to get a dark purple, something dark purple to wear with this. I think that will look really pretty. So yeah, so that's my finished object, and I am so excited that it is done. It also gave me another square on my bingo. So how about we're going to quickly go into the other little sewing craftiness that I did this week, and then we are going to go into my bingo update and my goals update. We'll finish with that. So, sewing. I did some sewing this week, and I don't tend to do a lot of sewing other than just for my business, but sometimes I find that there's something that you need, and you know, it sometimes is easier or just works out better to make it yourself than to go out searching for something. So that happened this week. This week, Avery had her first skating lesson. Yes, we are very negligent in that she is 6, almost 7, and she does not know how to skate. But Mom and Dad are not the people to teach her because we don't really skate either. So what are you gonna do? So she had her skating lesson this week and she was not excited about it, but then she had a really, really good lesson and she had so much fun. She did so well at her lesson. But yeah, so we got her some skates earlier this week. That's actually what we did on the PA day, so that worked out. Thank you, Grandma. We went skate shopping. She got some skates. And while we were there, I did pick up some skate guards to go on them, just to protect the blade, and then also because to put them in the bag and blah, blah, blah. However, right before her skating lesson, I was like, okay, I better get those guards all, because you had to put them together. Well, they were not the right guards for these skates. I think they were meant for more adult-sized skates versus kid skates. And her skates, the way the blades were shaped, even if they were smaller, I don't think they would have worked anyway. So I was like, well, poop, I need some skate guards because I want to have something on these blades when, you know, when I'm reaching into the bag and just to protect them and to wipe them off and stuff like that. So good old trusty Google, I Googled a skate guard, do it yourself skate guard tutorial, and a little sewing project came up and I followed it and we made her some skate guards. So this is them here. And there we go. I just used some fleece. I have so much fleece down in my fabric stash. So I just picked out some fun fleece. And then I also picked out for the inside, this is a fabric that I bought years and years and years ago. It kind of feels like a flannel, but it's not. It was sold for as part of making cloth diapers and cloth diaper accessories. So when Avery was born, or before she was born, I had intended to make some things for like cloth diaper covers and stuff like that. So I had this super soft absorbent fabric, and I thought that would be really good for the inner layer because it would absorb all the moisture off the blades. So I used 2 layers of the liner there, and then I put the fleece on the outside so that it would be a little thicker. And then I followed the tutorial for the most part. I will put the link down below of where I found the tutorial. I did have to change it slightly. The way that she had hers, this part here was connected and the blade kind of fit into this little pocket here. But you can see with these skates, these don't have a very, like, this part doesn't stick out a lot for it to sit in a pocket. So I had to adjust it slightly and put these little elastics here just to make it snug on and to fit this size. But that's the great thing about sewing, is that you can kind of adjust things. The same thing with knitting, right? Anything. When you make it yourself, you can adjust it to work the way you want it. So I got it to fit. They fit really nicely. They worked perfectly for what I needed them to, and I was very happy that I did not have to run out and buy a new pair of skate guards. But then, so for my next sewing project kind of comes from this. I wasn't planning on making this next project, but while I was making these and I was playing with this fabric here, because I had to like dig that out of the depths of my fabric stash, an idea came to me. And just to give you a little bit of background on why this idea, why this was percolating in my brain. So years and years and years ago in high school and probably in my 20s, I really enjoyed wearing makeup. And then once Avery was born, I kind of stopped because, you know, newborn at home, not going anywhere. Why bother? And then in this past year, I have started to get back into it and just having fun with colors and different styles. And anybody out there watch beauty YouTube channels? Whole another world. Oh my goodness. But I'm just learning about all different things. And so part of the thing with wearing makeup every day is that you have to take it off every day. And I've been getting into the habit of just the easiest thing is using the you know, the throwaway facial wipes and stuff like that. But I really hate it. Like, I really don't like using them. I get that it's very wasteful, but I was trying to think, I was like, well, what else can I use? Like, what else can I use that I can either wash or reuse or something? And so when I was making those skate guards and I had dug out that absorbent lining fabric, I was like, hey, I wonder if I can make some little face cloths with these that I can then wash every day, or like my idea was I could make one for every day and then at the end of the week wash them all. So I did. I cut out some of that fabric, and then I also looked through my stash and I found some flannel because I wanted something that was light, very soft, and washable and absorbent, right? So that's what I did, and I've got a whole little stack of them now. Don't ask me why the only flannel that I have in my collection is monkeys. I don't know. I don't remember buying this, but I have about 10 yards of it. Don't know what I was thinking, but they're cute and it's fine. It's just to wash my face. So I cut out a whole bunch of squares of the white, the white lining, and this is super, super soft. And then I cut out squares of the monkey fabric, and then it was super easy. Wrong sides together, sew around the edges, flip them open, and then I did a little stitch around the edge there. And I've tried them out this week, and they worked so well. It was so soft because I didn't want to just go out and get washcloths because I find those to be very rough. These were so soft and they took everything off really, really well. So now the test is, when I wash them, do they go weird or do they stay nice and soft? So I have a whole stack of these that I'm trying out. I've been using them this week. I have a load of laundry in. There's some in there to test out. If they wash well, I'm going to be going to Fabricland and getting a whole bunch of different types of flannel for the decorative side, because I have tons of this. And anybody who I know who washes their face is basically getting these for Christmas gifts, because it was pretty easy to whip up a whole stack of them. And I just think that they're really handy, especially if you know people who use the throwaway wipes and stuff like that. I just think they'd be a really, really handy gift. And then, you know what, if they don't want to use them for that, they can use them for cleaning whatever else they want. I might even make these as bus driver gifts or teacher gifts or something, because everybody can wipe something. I don't know. I just think they're super cute and they're very easy, and those are probably going to be going on, if they wash okay, they are going to be going on my to make gift list. So those are all the things that I crafted this month. And now let's get into my goal recap. So we're going to talk about what my goals were for September, what my goals are for October, and then also we'll do a little crafty bingo update. So I have my list here. I'm going to pop up a picture of the items that I finished in September. So my September goals were to finish my Girona top. That did not happen. I got about halfway. I've got one side done and the start of the second side, but it is not done. Finish the gradient spin was my second goal. That is done. The third, finish September DVD socks. That is done. 4, cast on new garment or work on Atelier. Not only did I work on it, I finished it. So check on that. Number 5, work on double-lined mitts. I did not even pull those out, so no. 6, cast on kid garment. I did that. I cast on Little Miss Margot for Avery. 7, do 2 charts on Santa pillows. We talked about this last week. I did not finish 2 charts. I did not even finish 2 Santa faces, but I did work on them a little bit. I just didn't finish as much as I wanted to. And number 8, restart tweed socks. I did. They've restarted, and hopefully I will make some good progress on those. So those were my goals for September. And now my goals for October. These were hard to come up with because on one hand, I don't want to give myself so many goals that I can't complete them. But on the other hand, a lot of them are starting to get into goals related to my Christmas crafting. And while, yes, we have 3 months till Christmas, I really like to try and finish my Christmas crafting this year, especially before December. Because last year in December, I worked on my Advent, for Advent, I worked on my mitered square blanket. So every day leading up to Christmas, I worked on my cozy memory blanket. And I'm going to be doing some swaps with my friends, hi Jen, this year, and I'm going to be getting new minis. And so I really want December to be a time where I get to work on what I want to work on and not be stressing out about Christmas gifts. So really, I have 2 months to finish all the things I want for Christmas. So I didn't want to give myself too much for October, but then I need to get stuff done. So we'll just see. I made my goals and we'll just see how I do. So my goals for October are to work on my Girona top. I almost didn't even include this. I almost just said, you know, sorry Girona top, you're just going to get put aside until next year. But I don't want another unfinished project going into my pile because one of my goals for the year is to have less than 5 by the end of the year. So I figured I wouldn't make it a goal to finish it. I would just work on it, and then if I can finish it by the end of the year, awesome. And if I can't, then I'll finish it for the spring. But just work on the Girona top. That's my only goal for that. My second goal is to finish my double-lined mitts. I've been trying to finish these things for ages, but it's getting, like I said, it's getting to the weather where it's perfect. It's going to be starting to get cooler. You know, another month, by the end of October, it's going to be getting quite chilly when we're waiting outside for the bus and stuff. So these mitts just need to get done, and mitts are so quick. I don't know what my problem is with these. If I just sat down and worked on them, I know I could get them done. So October's the month. Those double-line mittens are getting done. Next was to finish the first Tweety sock. So I'm not going to set myself a goal of finishing the whole pair because this is my last Christmas pair, and I do have 2 months. So I'm just going to say, let's try and finish one sock and then finish the next one next month. If I finish the whole pair, great, but finishing one sock is all I'm going to ask myself to do. Finish 2 Santa charts on my pillows. I was just going to say finish 2 Santa heads, but we got to be honest here. Like, if I want these pillows done for Christmas, it's a big project. I need to get a fair bit done in October so that I don't have the whole pillow to do in November. So we're going to try again. We're going to try and do 2 Santa charts. So that's 4 Santa faces total. Next, spin half of the solid singles for my Rainbow Dash sweater. So I showed that fiber a few episodes ago. There is a semi-solid blue and then a semi-solid blue leaning on green that I'm going to spin and then tie together for the body of a Rainbow Dash inspired sweater that I'm going to make for Avery. So my goal for October is just to spin all the singles of one of them. And I think I started with the blue leaning on green, and I've already gotten 3 out of the 5 bags that I purchased. I've got 3 out of the 5 bags spun up already. So I just have to finish the other 2 bags, and that will be that goal. Finish October DVD socks. I am still in this challenge. I finished my September socks, and so I want to finish the October. I want to make it to the end of the year. So finish October DVD socks. That's going to happen. Finally, this is a big one. And this goes back to what I was saying about if I really want to finish all my Christmas crafting by the end of November, I need to get moving on some of these items. So my last goal for October is to finish all of the pieces of the hippo. If you've been following me for a while, you will remember it last year. And I think I showed this in the episode that I went through all of my long-standing works in progress. I have a giant hippo that is made out of the little African flower motifs that I am making for my brother and his girlfriend for Christmas. And I got a good dent of that done last year, but not only do I want to stuff it, but I want to make it kind of like an ottoman. So there's going to be a little finessing with that. I might have to make some sort of interior structure. I don't know. So I really want to get all the pieces done this month so that November I can kind of work on the assembly. So yes, October, I need to finish the rest of the pieces. I'm going to have to bring that project out, see what I have done, sit down, and I think that's going to be one that I kind of concentrate on because I remember the motif being very simple to memorize. Once I got into it, I could easily do each of the pieces without referring to the pattern. So I think I'm going to see where I am and really try and just bust those out. And then we can start putting it together the next month. So those are the goals that I've given myself for October. And next, I have the update on my Crafty bingo card. So the last time I showed you and talked about this, it was way back in June. And so I'm going to pop up my most recent, my card with my most recent additions. And I have added 4 more squares. I've completed 4 more squares since the last time The 4 that I have completed since are the 2 skeins, spin 2 skeins of bulky weight yarn, knit 2 pairs of cuff down socks, complete 2 garments for myself, and then spin 2 skeins of gradient chain ply yarn. So those are the ones I've added, and if you would notice, by finishing my Atelier cardigan that had been on the needles since 2015, I got my first bingo. I am so excited. I got my first bingo. Not that I'm eligible for prizes or anything, but still, it's exciting. I got my first bingo. There have been, in the group, even if you're not participating in this challenge, the bingo thread in the Bling String group is still a really fun place to check out because everybody is posting pictures. Every time they make progress towards a goal or they complete a goal, they are posting pictures. They are making their own monthly mini goals. It's just a really fun thread to keep up with. And bingos are starting to come in. People are starting to finish enough squares that they're getting their bingos. It's going to be so fun to see how many people can completely finish their card by the end of the year. If you are participating, get in there and start chatting because I have a little surprise in mind, but we need a certain number of posts, and once we get there, you'll see there'll be a little surprise. So those are the 4 squares that I have added. I now have my first bingo, and yeah, I'm really excited. There's still a few. When I look at what I can work on next to keep getting some squares, there are some very easy ones, and then there's some bigger ones like finishing the owl blanket, finishing the hippo, those darn Santa pillows. Those are going to take me forever. But there's a few in there. Like I have one that's like there's a crocheted project bag. So there's this way that I crochet project bags, and I want to make one as a Christmas gift. That's just a 1 project and 1 square done kind of thing. I'm almost tempted to get that started and just bang that square out. And then there's another square where I wanted to do 3 kid garments as gifts, and I've made 2 of those. I just have to do 1 more gift garment and that square is done. So I've been thinking, you know, is there anybody I know that I can make something for and just get that square done? So I do anticipate finishing at least a few more squares by the end of the year. I do not know if I will get all my squares filled out, but I've really enjoyed this format this year. This is the first year we've done the Crafty Bingo format. I really, really like it. We are definitely doing this again next year. I will probably start a thread either late November or December talking about next year so that, you know, you can start thinking about what you want to do, what your goals are. If you've never participated before, you can get the information. So that will definitely be coming because I have so enjoyed doing the Crafty Bingo and seeing everybody play along with me. So the only thing that I'm going to say before I go, I do not have a collection this week. Last week I mentioned that because I was going to be doing a bigger collection with the 3 fabrics, it might be a little longer. I've got the yarn dyed. It's so much fun. I've got the bags cut out for some of the fabrics. I had to go to the fabric store today and get some coordinating fabrics for the other 2, but those are going to be cut this week. So I should have, for the next episode, I should have the holiday collection done, and I am so excited to show you because the fabrics are just so darn cute, and yeah, it just starts getting you in the mood, right? But yeah, so that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you have a fabulous rest of your weekend and you get lots and lots of crafting done. I am going to work on something. Dennis has Avery out right now. They're out watching a movie. I might have to do a little bit of something while they're gone, and then I'll do the cooking and the everything else that I should be doing. I'll do that later. So anyway, I hope you have a great weekend and you enjoyed watching this. I will talk to you soon.